Little Nightmares 2 is one of the most anticipated indie titles of this year. The new installment in the horror platformer series is a very unique experience. One of the most astonishing features of this game is that it tells a deep and meaningful story without using a single word. But how is this possible? How can we talk about the story of the little boy in the game for hours without hearing a single word about it in the first place? My name is Ali Arkani, and if you want the answer to that question, let's get unhyped. The very first thing that sinks the player in the world of Little Nightmares 2 is the atmosphere. Everything in the world of the game is dark and gloomy. The whole game takes place in a single night. The houses and the rooms that the player can explore is poorly lit and mostly abandoned. And if all that is not enough, the main protagonist of the game is a child who is suffering from probably low self-esteem. He wears a paper bag on his head to conceal his face. It means that he is either displeased with his body or too afraid of the outside world to show his true self. The people at Tarsier Studios push the boundaries of an atmospheric experience even more when they add more nihilistic elements to their games. If you have paid attention to the world design in each part of the game, you could see how Little Nightmares 2 is actively trying to portray the most unpleasant side of each environment. For example, the jungle in the beginning of the game is filled with yellow fallen leaves from the trees. The ground is mostly muddy and old tree trunks are scattered all over the place. The fallen leaves and tree trunks are elements in conjunction with death. They show the end of the road for a plant, and dealing with them from the very beginning of the game quickly builds the atmosphere. The same thing happens in the urban parts of the game, where rain constantly pours on secluded streets of the unnamed ghost town. Creating an atmospheric experience is not the only thing Little Nightmares 2 has to offer. After the player is adequately caught up in this dark and deadly world, the game starts telling a horrifying story. A story with deep political and social references. Little Nightmares 2 completely relies on environmental storytelling, a relatively rare method of storytelling used in games such as BioShock and Deus Ex. As the name of the method suggests, the objects and even in the backgrounds narrate a story. Before going any deeper, let's clarify the fact that environmental storytelling is different from building a specific atmosphere in the game. The atmosphere provokes specific feelings in players, such as fear or frustration. It doesn't tell the player about the events that happened in the past and their effect on the world around them. But environmental storytelling narrates a specific chain of incidents and their consequences. For example, the urban part of Little Nightmares 2 is filled with clothes and outfits that represent deceased individuals. I can't forget the scene where a suit and a hat were just sitting on a bench in what seems to be a bus station. That single frame tells two whole stories. First one is the story of a man who was so mesmerized by the magic from the game's antagonist that he forgot his destination, his life, and died sitting on a bench. And the second story is about a society with people so alienated that they never realized or even cared that a dead man was sitting on a bench for months until the body was completely gone. This is how the objects in the background reveal the dreadful nature of the game. As mentioned before, Little Nightmares 2 has its own share of messages and warning as well. The game is trying to warn the players about the way the media in general is hypnotizing the society. The second half of the game is filled with broken TV sets. By dwelling a little bit deeper into the heart of the urban parts of the game, a new type of enemies emerge that I call them TV zombies. TV zombies look just like normal humans, but their faces are melted. They are attracted to the lights of TV screens just like how moths are attracted to a flame, and just like the poor insects, TV zombies will follow the lights of the screen to their death. The TV sets in the game are symbols of today's media and their control over the society. Little Nightmares 2 turns the attention toward this subject and tries to warn everyone who cares about a free society before it's too late. Little Nightmares 2 is a memorable experience. Tarsier Studios once again managed to capture the attention of the audience, tell a thrilling story, warn them about the future, and do all that without saying a single word. If that's not true art, then I just don't know what to call it. To share your ideas or watch more UNHyped videos, make sure to subscribe to ArkaniGaming YouTube channel or visit gamecritics.com.